They're trying to convince us that this isn't the start of the next big forever war. Here's why I don't believe them. Trump's Venezuela plan is being pitched to the American public as a way to open up the world's largest oil reserve to American corporations, without the costs of American blood and treasure. But this won't be as simple as
drill, baby, drill
in America's backyard. Let me explain. Over the weekend, the US military conducted a historic raid where they kidnapped the Venezuelan president Nicolas Maduro and his wife and deposited them in a New York jail. Maduro was the leader of the Bolivarian Revolution, a movement that believes that Caribbean and Latin American states should choose socialism, resource nationalism, and state-led development instead of the American global economic vision of corporate development and free trade. The revolutionary ideology is rooted deep in the Venezuelan state. And so instead of trying to do a full-on regime change like US predecessors had done in Iraq and Afghanistan, Trump wanted to do something different. He threatened the next in line of the Bolivarian leadership with a fate worse than Maduro's if she doesn't agree to America's demands. For now, those demands mean handing over a stockpile of 30 to 50 million barrels of Venezuelan crude so that the United States can sell it and use the profits as it sees fit. And eventually, that means creating fair access to Venezuela's oil for American corporations. Venezuela's reserves are mostly in what's called heavy oil, a type of crude that's very capital, labor, and time intensive to be able to extract, process, and refine. And so it'll take corporations billions in what will eventually become sunken assets before they'll be able to turn a profit. And American corporations have tried this before. That was until the first Bolivarian president, Hugo Chavez, waited until they were done investing billions before he decided to expropriate or take over those assets back in 2007. So what would stop a future Bolivarian government from doing the same thing in the future? Well, it would only be the threat of a US military invasion or different governance within the country itself. And in my eyes, that leaves the Trump administration with two fundamental choices. Either replace the Bolivarian government with a system that's more friendly to American corporate interests, or keep the US military deployed and ready to invade until the oil companies are done taking what they want, which sure sounds like the start of another forever war to me.